Greetings and welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the encouragement to those of you who listened to my last post. It's quite challenging to narrate this, but like I said, I am ready to pay my survival forward, and so I will share fragments of my personal story. Again, as I indicated last time, every journey is unique, and this is my journey. So, some of you sent me messages that you wanted me to address my feelings. How did I process just from the biopsy when the pathologist said that she'll be surprised if it is not positive? I want to state here that all I felt was a sense of gratitude. Gratitude that I am in the United States where the healthcare system is relatively good. I was grateful that my children are grown. And so if I had to undergo treatment and I had to be away from home, I would not have to be struggling where to keep them and they would be taken care of in my absence. So I was glad about that. I was also grateful that in terms of my career, I'd reached the pinnacle. I became a full professor in 2021. So I was grateful that I did not have hopes to jump there. I was grateful that I had health insurance. So it was just overall gratitude. That was my sense. Maybe other things in my life had prepared me for something like this, but no, I was not faced. I was not worried. I was not running helter-skelter. And which brings me to the next thing, which is the topic today. Who do you tell when you have something like this? Who is that person that you want to call? So what I want to make clear here is that in my case, my biopsy was supposed to be on December 7th. I had told my 3 sisters. I didn't tell my brother. I was worried how he would take it. We are all very protective of our brother. So then I fought hard and got the biopsy on November 30th. At that point, I decided that, you know something, I'm going to keep it. So I didn't inform my sisters that the biopsy had been moved forward. So that day, when I got that information, I decided to share it with my sister, who is a medical doctor. The understanding was that as a medical doctor, she's used to this thing, so I can share with her. So I called her. She was in Nigeria attending a conference. And so she picked up the phone and I told her what the pathologist had said. What I got from my end, I wasn't ready for. My sister was stuttering and she kept asking me, what did you say? What did the doctor say? And I quickly realized that, oh my God, she's not just a medical doctor. She's listening to this as a sister, and a big sister for that matter. I'm her little sister, her younger sister, her vibrant younger sister. And here was this, her sister whom they fondly call a woman on the go, who is always in one thing or the other. This is that sister calling to say that she may have breast cancer. So I tried to repeat to my sister that, no, sister, don't take it like that. All I have here is gratitude. I have the time to deal with this. I have insurance. I repeated the same things I just said, and she was clearly not in that frame of mind with me, and she just said, she'll talk to me later. So after that, it occurred to me that I need to manage this differently. Yes, my sister is a medical doctor, but she's my sister first. And as a medical doctor, she can see the pathways to recovery, but she can also see the pathways to things getting wrong, to things going wrong. So I had to think, so who should I tell? So on that day, now fast forward to that Saturday when I got the diagnosis. It was in my chats. For those of us in the USA, you have your online platform portal where the tests are there, your appointments and all that. So I got a notification that I had test results available, and of course I knew that I was waiting for the results of the biopsy. I went there and it was there. And first of all, when I read it, it said ductal carcinoma. I chuckled to myself. I said, na cancer English name that. And I was just, I don't even know how to express the feeling, but you just like looking and trying to process it and looking ahead. So after a few minutes of staring at my screen, because I got a notification on my phone, but I decided to open it on my laptop. And a few minutes later, I decided that I would share it with my friend, the OBGYN that I mentioned in my last in the last episode. So I called him. He picked up the phone, and I said, I have breast cancer. He told me that, you are not a medical doctor. You can't tell me that. I'm like, no, I'm serious. And then it took a few minutes for me to realize that what he was saying was that he can't just take my word for it. He needs to see something. So I'm like, it's in my charts. And I said, you want to see this? He said, sure. I said, okay. I said, you still have your same email? He says, yes. I said, okay. So I went and sent the results to him. And when I did that, and I said, have you received? I went and it was on my phone. I did it on my phone. I sent it on my phone. And I said, have you received it? He said, not yet. Then he said, yes, I have. He said, can you give me 5 minutes to look at it? I said, okay. After 5 minutes, he came back. He said, okay, I have read it. I want to tell you up front that you're right. You've been diagnosed with breast cancer, but you are not dying. I have seen some good things there that we can work with. From what I see, you would likely get medication at the end of your treatment. That is good. From what I see, you may not have chemo. That is good. I also see a staging here, but he says, I think it's a pathology. staging, because the real staging of the cancer would be after surgery. So I think there's enough here for your medical team to work with. And then he said, let me ask you, how's your faith? I lost it. When he asked me that question, I lost it. And I cried for the first time. And my thinking was that if a medical doctor is asking me about my faith, then that means it's done. So I'm crying and I'm like, so it's done. Why were you saying there are things for us to work with if you're coming to ask me about faith? And I was just crying and talking. I'm like, you see, this is the thing. You say that this thing, we have this to work with, and then you're coming to ask me about faith, a medical doctor asking me about faith. And he's like, calm down, calm down. I'm not asking you about faith because I think it's hopeless. You will need your faith. And I'm asking you because I want you to process it. I know you are Presbyterian. I know your faith. I know you're Christian. But I'm asking because you need to affirm it. That's why I'm asking. Not because I think it's hopeless. So I said, okay, I have faith. He says, okay, you need a lot of that on this journey. After I'd calmed down, he said, there's only one thing that I am going to ask of you, which is my suggestion to you. If there's anything that I would want you to follow my direction, this is it. I said, so what is it? He said, you're going to see a breast surgeon. The breast surgeon is going to show you diagrams. She's going to ask for either lumpectomy or mastectomy. I want to suggest to you that you should go for a bilateral mastectomy. I know it's only one breast affected. I know right now you're a good candidate for lumpectomy because they can go in to just take it out. But from my experience, he said, a lot of times the margins are not clear and you may end up with multiple surgery. Next year it goes to the other side and all that. I've seen that happen. But I've also seen many women who've done lumpectomy and have survived. But if I had a preference based on my experience, I would ask you to do a bilateral mastectomy. And I told him that's what I will do. It's not something I'm even thinking twice. And he said, okay. So, it's like, so that's what you plan as when you go to see your breast surgeon. When I see them seeing the breast surgeon again, I said 7th. Remember, 7th was my biopsy day. Once I got the biopsy for 11/30th, I was able to get an appointment with the breast surgeon on December 7th. So he asked me, are you going to call your sisters and tell them? I said, no, I don't feel like telling any of them at this time. I know my family very well. I would like to have a game plan before I tell them. I said, I'm not the first child, but I'm not... I know my place in the family. I'm a fun place, and so I have to be tactful, because if I appear without hope, if I appear to be beaten, people may go down, so let me strategize. Let me get a game plan. So that's what I told him. He said, okay, that's good. I would tell you that it was a very lonely few days. So Saturday, then Sunday. And if you go to my Facebook page, my professional page, Dr. Joyce Ashutantang page, go to November 30th, 2022. I made a post saying that laughter, we should protect our laughter, that I do everything to protect my laughter. And I meant it. That was, so Saturday was lonely because I have this big information that nobody knows in my family. Sunday, my friend calls again, the OBGYN, and says, how are you doing? I said, fine. And he said, you're sounding tired. Don't you think you want to tell someone? You need to. He says, why don't you tell your sister, the medical doctor? At least it's her territory. I broke down again and I cried. I'm like, no. I'm like, did you hear when I tried to tell her the last time? The way she sounded? I've never had my sister like that. My sister is very strong. But I could realize that she was affected. I'm her baby sister. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And I was crying profusely. Honestly, I cried a lot. I can't even lie. I cried a lot. And my friend said, if you're going to cry like that, then you have to tell somebody right now. If not, then cut it. You can do that. You're by yourself. So I realized that I'm not ready to tell anybody, so I quit the crying. Got up from there, got my camera, put on the goodness of God, listened, and I was there making my video. And then I was thinking, but if my sister is not going to be there to give me advice, if I don't want to tell her, then I need to find a replacement. Yes, I had my friend here in the US who was guiding me, but I wanted a family member. So I thought of my uncle, who is a retired OBGYN in the UK. I decided that I need to tell him. So I called him. I actually went through the wife. I'm like, oh, there's this family thing that I need to to tell Uncle. Where is he? I'm trying to reach him. I can't get him. Finally, I got him, and I confided in him and said, this is what is going on, but I don't want to tell my sister because it looks as if it bothered her. So can you go on this journey with me and be the family guide till I bring in my siblings? He said yes. So 7th of December, he was on that call when I met my breast surgeon. I also decided that I needed to cue in a friend, and I picked one of my colleagues at work at my university. She's in charge of our women's program there, and I called Amy. It was a cold call because, as you know, it's a work friend. We don't call on the phone just to chat. So it was a cold call. I just did a cold call. She picked up and I said, this is what is going on, and I have an appointment on December 7th. Can you come with me? And she complied, and she came, and she said, don't drive, I'm going to drive. So she picked me up, and we got there. And my uncle, when it was time, I called him, added him on the call, and so he was there on that initial call. I'll stop here and I'll take it from here next time. How did we handle that? At what point did I tell my siblings? At what point did I tell my children? Next time. Thank you for coming along with me.